I see a lot of people that want to improve many things at once. They want to either be big and strong and fast while also being fit and have high endurance and be able to be very flexible. And those things come at a cost. Moving up, improving one quality is going to have a cost at the other end for another quality. There's a give and take with everything that we do, and there's a cost to the movements that we do. So, what I mean by that is you could have a lineman, we'll just take the same sport, so football. So, you could have an NFL lineman and a wide receiver. A lineman is very big, they're strong, and they might be quick in short distances, but mostly kind of straight ahead with very little side shuffle movements. And that's conducive for the position that they're playing. So they need those certain qualities, but they have to give up maximal speed. They have to give up an ability to rotate very well or make a sharp cut on a dime and then change directions, because that's not going to be helpful for them. It's going to reduce their ability to produce maximal force production. So a receiver, they would be slow if they had to be a lineman size and unable to rotate, cut, spin, jump, whatever they have to do to achieve their task within their position. So there's a cost to everything that we do. We can't be good at everything, a jack of all trades. Well, I shouldn't say that. We can be proficient enough at certain things, but if you want to be a high performer or very good at one or two things, you're going to have to give up some other things along the way. It's just the nature of our system and our body. So a good example is someone that's really at one end of the spectrum that I see a decent amount would be a power lifter, and they just need to be able to bench, squat, and deadlift, the big three, really well. Well, that's contained to two legs or 2 feet straight on the ground. Same thing, they're planted when they're benching, just two arms. Everything's stable. It's in one position. They're not moving side to side, and they're just trying to drive maximal force. So their way of movement or their ability to move or rotate or do any of these things is going to be very limited because they're in a small window to be able to achieve a certain task. So when they try to do things outside of that realm, they might end up getting hurt or having these aches and pains because their body isn't adapted or doesn't have the sufficient means to achieve these other tasks because they haven't developed these qualities or they dumped off. The same thing can go for a CrossFitter too. Most of the things are bilateral, so they're on two legs or they're using just two arms with most of the things, whether it's jumping and they're cleans or jump rope, things like that. They're maybe a little more dynamic than a power lifter, but just because they're fit or it might be high intensity, being fit in one realm doesn't mean you're going to be fit in another. So if they start running or something that's cyclical and they have to use side to side movements, they might run into some trouble. So just have that in mind when you're working on some of these fitness qualities, or you're rehabbing for certain things, or you want to be able to do certain activities. There's going to be a give and take, and there might be a cost to what you're trying to achieve if you've been on one end of the spectrum and trying to do a drastic change to the other.